Just back to work. Tried to put last night behind us and start preparing for tomorrow. Take advantage of a practice day today.
Is it more than 1 of 82 because of the history, because of this season's series, last season's playoffs? Or?
No, I mean every game, has significance, particularly with us. It's a storyline out there. We obviously want to play well. We haven't played well against them in the 2 games and haven't been able to put together complete games. They've outplayed us and they deserve to win. So we understand what the deal is.
Why have they outplayed you?
They got to their game more often, more consistently than we got to our game. And that's why it's a compelling matchup. And that's what everybody wants to see. We have to play to our identity. Everybody knows what our identity is. Everybody knows what their identity is. And they got to it more consistently.
So how do you create that flow? How do you make that happen?
We get after it. I don't mean to sound like I'm simplifying it, but that's what it is. I mean, who gets to who more often? Are they able to pound us and get us into the paint, or are we able to defend, disrupt, get out in the open court? We're capable of it. It takes a great deal of commitment on our part, and we haven't been able to put that together in the 2 games.
Erik, Hibbert and Hill both spoke about how they expect it to be chippy. But is that really almost just code for playoff-like, intense, or with these 2 teams?
I don't know what that means.
Okay.
Both teams are competitive. It was a very competitive series last year. It was the equivalent of a 7-game series. So when you have 2 highly competitive teams going after each other with a lot of pride, we expect it to be a clean game, a competitive game, and that's what everybody wants to see.
So a game like tomorrow, as a coach, how does that compare for you in terms of getting your team ready compared to Cleveland, Sacramento, and Orlando and Philly?
Every game's a different challenge. When you're down with this chair in this position, it's a different motivation almost every single night. That's just the way it is. 82 games, it's constantly a new challenge. And so it's a different challenge. Tomorrow's challenge is we've gotten beaten up by this team 2 games in a row. Our guys are aware of that, and they deserve to win. And that's what this league is about. Usually the teams that deserve to win do. And that's by getting to your game and imposing your game more often than the other team does theirs.
You look like Mom really with the church sauce. Walk around in those boxes.
You got questions for him? Let's go.
LeBron, we asked Shane to define the Pacers, and he came up with the word chippy. He said it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just that they're a feisty team. Do you sort of agree with that, and does that get overstated just because they tend to play more of a physical style than we see from
No, they do. They play a slow pace, grind it out. Shane says chippy game, which is fine. They have some bruisers, and in Hansborough, and David West, and Hibbert, and those guys, and Mahimi is another guy that comes in off the bench for them. So I guess I would give them that class. It's cool to go against the competition. I love playing against some of the best teams in the league, so it should be fun.
Do you enjoy playing against a team that is so-called, as Shane put it, chippy?
Doesn't matter. I'm built for whatever game presents itself. Built for a chippy game, physical game, finesse game, fast, slow game. I'm built for whatever. So I take the game as it comes.
Looking at this game tomorrow, what's going to be the biggest challenge? How do you guys defeat them?
The biggest challenge is as understanding we got to control the paint as much as possible. This team really beat you up in the paint, but they also can shoot outside. So you got to kind of play both. With this team, it's going to be a tough game. You can't. There's no easy way out. You can't go into the game looking for an easy way out. I think we've noticed that both times we played them. So we got to play 48 minutes through and through. We got to rebound the ball. We got to take care of the ball. And those are the key. I think the key things.
When you think of one word to describe Indiana and their style, what would that word be and why?
I don't know. I mean, I left school early for a reason, so I ain't really trying to be going there with it. But they're a good team, and they're a very confident team. I think if anything, they just have a lot of confidence, and they really play off that.
Chippiness is the word that Shane Battier used.
Yeah, see, look who you're talking to. Shane, he's still going to school now. But I mean, yeah, we played them in the playoffs. So whenever you play a team from the playoffs, especially when you're playing for something, it's going to be some chippy moments. And they have some guys on their team, that feel that they don't get the respect that they deserve, or the attention that they deserve, and they have a chip on their shoulder. So. Yeah, I mean it's there, but we trying to play the game of basketball. We can't get into that. Just like in the playoffs last year, we didn't get into that with them. We just continue to play basketball until we was able to win the series.
How often when you play do you feel like you're playing guys all around the league who feel like they don't get as much attention and respect as you guys do?
I'm sure it's a lot of guys. I mean, it's guys on our team that feel that way. I'm sure. I mean, it's not always pumped up to be neither. Watch what you wish for. So I think guys get what guys deserve in a sense, and not from the outside. It got to come from inside. You got to feel good about who you are, and you can't worry about who people like from the outside standpoint. As in their fan favorite. It's just not what it's not what I worry about. You got to be who you are. You got to be comfortable and confident in yourself. You got to like the person, the player that you are, and if you do that, then your team will understand how valuable you are to them. You understand that too, and that feels better than anyone on the outside patting you on your back for being a good player.
When you closed out the game last night with LeBron sitting on the bench, what was going through your head? Was it a weird feeling, new feeling? What was that like?
I was surprised, just like the rest of y'all. When I looked over there, I think we was going to a timeout once, maybe like 4 minutes left, and he didn't come back in. I was like, oh, this is different. But it's just obviously. We had a groove going. We had many different guys kind of helped push the lead up, and I think Coach didn't want to change kind of the groove that was going. I'm sure if anything would have got a little worrisome, number 6 would have been off the bench, but we had it in control, so it's all good.
Is it? I know you always want to have LeBron out there, but is there a feeling that this is a feeling you want to have again sometimes during the game, or you can play?
No, I mean I have it at certain times. Starter, second, starter, fourth. And yesterday, I take a lot of pride in it now that coach is putting me in the starter, the second, starter, fourth, a lot of times. And yesterday we gave up, a lead in the starter, the second, that unit. And I think since I've moved into that unit, we became a positive, to our team. And then we was a negative yesterday, so I didn't like that of our team. So it was good at the end to come back in the fourth and really be a positive with that same unit.